All I ask from people, you see, is to be open-minded.
The first thing you might notice, David Berkowitz doesn't sound like how you think a serial killer would.
To cross the line, to me, it was frightening, you know. The feeling of power. I didn't enjoy it. I just needed to do it.
Unlike in the movies, there's no deep and dangerous growl, no threats of violence. It's hard to imagine that this man with a high voice, speaking so conversationally,
I was out every night like clockwork committing my crimes.
Is a stone-cold serial killer.
He comes across as a bit of a nebbishy guy, you know, like always wanting to please. What I've learned in 30 years of crime filmmaking is that the people who do evil in this world are the ones you least expect and most often trust.
We're hearing Berkowitz now thanks to a new hit docuseries on Netflix, Conversations with the Killer, the Son of Sam tapes, including interviews with him from more than 4 decades ago, and some just months ago with director Joe Berlinger.
If you could go back to young David, what advice would you say to that David?
I would say, Dave, run for your life. Get help.
Why Son of Sam and why now?
I look at this case as a foundational case in our current obsession with true crime, where David Berkowitz literally had the city gripped in fear before the 24-hour news cycle, before social media.
It's hard to overstate the grip that the Son of Sam had on New York City back in the summers of 1976 and 77. In a series of seemingly random shootings, the Son of Sam killed 6 people and injured 7, while threatening to kill more. Many people were afraid to go outside.
There's not half as many people out now as there was before. Everybody's going inside.
I was a kid growing up in New York City when the Son of Sam killings happened. Before Berkowitz was captured, the fear in New York was palpable. I mean, you had women changing their hairstyles.
So I just cut my hair. It was about this length. I cut it short because of the .44 caliber killer. I've thought about the killer, and I'm not going to cut my hair. I figure if he's going to come, he's going to get you. You're not going to know it, so I'm not going to cut my hair about it. I'm not going to do it.
It was a uniquely 70s serial murder.
Newspapers, television.
With the death yesterday of 20-year-old Sandy Moskowitz, what was already the largest manhunt in this city's history was intensified even further.
All focused on the manhunt for the serial killer.
What was unique about him, you think?
Well, I think because he was looking for attention. He wanted the notoriety of Jack the Ripper. You know, a lot of serial killers don't want to be caught, don't leave clues, try to get away with it for as long as they can.
Part of Berkowitz's reign of terror revolved around letters he would send to investigators and the press, mocking police and vowing to commit more crimes.
Sam's a thirsty lad, and he won't let me stop killing till he gets his fill of blood.
Dear Mr. Jimmy Breslin, hello from the gutters of NYC.
Once you start writing notes taunting police and you get caught, it makes your defense a lot harder. I think that Berkowitz knew that. I mean, the minute he gets caught, he says, "You got me."
Berkowitz spoke to ABC News back in 2001, when some of those letters were being sold as memorabilia, something he opposed.
The sale of these things really grieves my heart. I'm terribly ashamed for the things that I had done in the past. I know what a nightmare it is to see these things marketed.
At the time of the crimes, Berkowitz seemed to relish the attention and nearly always targeted victims in pairs, like women sitting with their boyfriends in parked cars. Police eventually arrested Berkowitz in 1977, thanks to a parking ticket near a crime scene, and he confessed, saying he killed 6 people and injured 7 others because he was obeying the orders of a demon in the form of a black dog named Sam. He later admitted the dog and devil story was a hoax, but it captivated the city and nation nonetheless.
This was a bit of a game for Berkowitz. And it almost seems it was a game he knew he was going to eventually lose.
In the decade since Berkowitz went to prison, sentenced to 25 years to life times 6, the Son of Sam continues to fascinate, from books to music to movies. Spike Lee directed the 1999 film Summer of Sam.
Police received a letter from the .44 caliber killer, calling himself the Son of Sam.
Berkowitz was even portrayed in the popular TV series Mindhunter, talking to FBI agents about his crimes.
I'm not some crazed sex killer. I needed a name that explained who I really was.
Documentarian Joe Berlinger is the latest to delve into Berkowitz's story for Conversations with the Killer, the fourth in the series, which has also profiled Ted Bundy, John Wayne Gacy, and Jeffrey Dahmer.
The Son of Sam Killer was a dangerous wild card.
Over the years, Berkowitz has offered several different explanations for his crimes, but many experts link his motive to psychological issues and a desire for notoriety.
There's criticism with our obsession with crime and serial killers that films like yours, documentaries, or even the recent Hollywood versions of Ted Bundy and Jeffrey Dahmer give a platform or glamorize serial killers. What do you say to that?
Well, I think there's a little bit of truth to all of that, depending on the production and the intention of the filmmaker. And I think there's lots of good reasons to tell these stories and lots of bad reasons to tell these stories irresponsibly.
While most of the tape conversations featured are from 1980, just a few years after the crimes, for the docuseries, Berlinger did talk to Berkowitz in a new phone interview.
Hey, David. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm hanging in there by the grace of God. I'm doing okay. Thank you.
What was it like to talk with David Berkowitz today in our current time? He's now in his 70s.
I was hesitant to speak to him today because I didn't want him to reframe the crime with 40 years of hindsight. But I decided, because there's new information in the show about a new victim, so I felt an obligation to speak to him.
That victim, Wendy Savino. She's now considered the first in Berkowitz's crime spree. Savino survived her shooting. The NYPD officially linked her to the Son of Sam last year, though Berkowitz was never tried for the crime, and he denies shooting Savino.
You saw my face, I saw your face, David. You can't deny you shot me. I saw you doing it.
Here's a guy who's been in prison for, 4 decades. It was so important to him, to say, I did not do this.
Berkowitz has reportedly embraced Christianity while behind bars. He often writes essays on faith and repentance for evangelical websites.
I said to him, if you could speak to the young David back in 1975, before you started doing these crimes, what would you say to him? And he said, I'd say to my younger self, run, get help. And that touched me very deeply, because I do think we have a mental health crisis of young men.
The 72-year-old is entitled to parole hearings every 2 years. However, Berkowitz has consistently refused to ask to be released, even once writing that he felt he deserved to be in prison for the rest of his life. His next parole hearing is in May.
I cannot see how he would ever get paroled.
What do you want people to take away after watching Conversations with a Killer?
The people who do these things are people who are hurting, who have mental health issues, have mental health crises. That doesn't excuse it. Lots of people have mental health crises and don't turn into serial killers.